Do not disturb.
Okay. Good morning. So Seth and Nadia, I've got Marie with me. So when you're hearing her in the background, you're not crazy. She is actually sitting next to me because she took my yoga class this morning. So when she's answering questions, it's okay that she sounds like she's right beside me. And most of the questions are going to be directed at her right now. So I know you didn't get to your homework this week yet, but if you guys did your taste test with organic and conventional produce, do you know which one, were you able to guess which one was which? And did you even taste a real difference? Or did you notice anything about the organic and conventional produce? Was one smaller or bigger, or was one more colorful? What did you notice about that? The research that you did for your organic foods. I want to know where you did your research, what topic you did your research on, so what type of organic food, what you really specifically looked at, what you learned, and did it change anything about what you would eat? So would you eat more organic? Would you not eat organic? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? So let me know what you found, and make sure you get those papers in by next week. Now, this week we're going to talk about phytonutrients, and we're also going to go over your study guide. So for this week, phytonutrients, just to get right into it, what is a phytonutrient? So phyto just means plant, makes it real easy. And what is a nutrient? Dun, 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 dun. We talked about it with our macro and micronutrients. A lot.
Oh,
a lot.
Yeah.
Something that helps
the body
support
health
and life. So phytonutrients protect plants from environmental damage. That's the idea that they're in plants. All of them are antioxidants and anti-inflammatories in humans. They're all also anti-cancer, and they help cell repair. So very important when we're talking about phytonutrients. They're very popular right now because you can get them in pretty much anything, and they help a lot with aging. So sometimes you'll see different types of phytonutrients in anti-aging serums or drinks that promote slower aging. Those are what we're really going to be looking at for the phytonutrients. So we're going to talk about the types, what they do, and where you're going to find them. Now the types, we're going to start with carotenoids. Carotenoids you're going to find more in the bright orange and super bright green and red fruits and vegetables. Those are more for eye and immune health, which means they have more they have more vitamin A. There are more than 600 types of carotenoids. I just gave you a couple of them. You don't really have to know it, but what's beta carotene? We talked about it in the micronutrients one. You just said it.
Vitamin A?
Yeah. Lycopene, where would you normally find lycopene? I'll give you a hint, it's on the next column, and it's red.
Tomatoes?
In tomatoes, it's one of the very few that when you cook it, it becomes more potent. So where do you find cooked tomatoes?
Like sauce.
And put it on your French fries?
Ketchup.
That's one of the main nutrition awesome things about ketchup. And it's really one of the only ones, but if you're really having trouble getting lycopene, ketchup's going to be the way to go. Especially with mixed with vinegar, it helps bring out the lycopene. Ellagic acid, the big one with this one is it lowers cholesterol and reduces the risk of cancer. It's mostly found in berries or anything. So if you're looking at raspberries, strawberries, blackberries, grapes, pomegranates, what color are those for the most part? Give you a hint. If you mix color A with color B, you get color C.
Brown? Which colors?
If you mix the color of blueberries.
Oh, purple?
Yeah, most of them are going to be some shade of red, purple, or blue. Resveratrol is going to be one that your parents may be very fond of. It does reduce the risk of heart disease and it helps with your brain health. So they were looking at it at one point to reduce the risk of dementia. And it is mostly found in wine. It is in the skin of grapes, but it's brought out a lot in wines. But you can also get it at other places. Dark chocolate's a big source of it, blueberries, strawberries, some nuts. So you can really get it all over the place. But that's the more popular one because that's why they'll tell you a glass of red wine will improve your heart health and brain health every night. So that's a good thing to tell your parents and inform them, hey, just so you know, you can have your glass of wine every night and it's okay. You just have to make sure it's lower sugar wine. Now, flavonoids are in everything. Those are antioxidants and anti-cancer, so they're very generic when it comes to the phytonutrients because they're in everything. There are a bunch of different kinds. Anthocyanins are normally blue. Isoflavonoids and flavonones are in pretty much everything. They're very basic antioxidant, anti-cancer, and anti-aging. Let me see. Oh, trying to get to Nadia. Hold on just a second. Nadia will get you. Let me get a second to invite Nadia on. Maybe.
Invite.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
There we go. What would I do without her? Okay. Let me take a second and invite Nadia in. There you go, Seth, when you see the recap. Sorry. All right. Let's give her a couple of seconds to jump on. Nadia, is that you? Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
So I have Rory with me. She just took my yoga class and wasn't going to make it home in time to jump on. So when you hear her in the background, that's why. We're talking about phytonutrients. And just to give you a quick recap, phyto means plant.
Okay.
So it makes it really easy. So phytonutrients. And Marie, what does a nutrient mean?
It means something that can like help with your health.
Yeah, it's just
life.
Something to support health. So it is literally just something that comes from plants that's good for you. And there are a whole bunch of different kinds, and you find them in all plant foods. So flavonoids are going to be in more like green tea, apples, onions. Coffee is a very popular one. Ginger, grapefruit, peas. So you'll find those all over the place. All phytonutrients are antioxidant, anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, and help with cell repair. So moving on to the next type, phytoestrogens. Those are very important. They are anti-cancer. They help with heart disease and osteoporosis, so reducing the risk of those. And they get rid of a lot of hormonal problems in women related to menopause. So very popular. The big one with that one is soy. That's why some people can't have soy because it does turn into estrogen in the body. It competes at the site of estrogen. So if somebody has to have hormone replacement therapy and get estrogen pumped into them, soy will actually help balance that out. So balancing is very important when it comes to your hormones. So you want to make sure, that's why soy milk can be a good one to take in if you're having a risk of the heart disease or osteoporosis related to hormones. Broccoli, oranges, carrots, coffee, and legumes also have phytoestrogens, just in smaller amounts than soy. How do you say that word? Nadia?
Let me see. I don't know.
Marie?
Glucosinolates.
Yeah, glucosinolates.
Really?
Good job, fancies. This one reduces inflammation like all the other phytonutrients. It helps regulate your metabolism, which is important. Lowers your risk of cancer, and very, very important, helps you balance stress. These are going to be mostly in cruciferous vegetables. Helps a lot with detoxification, getting rid of all the nasties in the body. Part of stress isn't just emotional stress. It's the stress of having stuff in your body that's making it work harder than it needs to. So what are your cruciferous vegetables? I'll give you a hint. I wrote them down for you.
Cauliflower, bok choy, Brussels
Cabbage.
Yep. And broccoli.
Oh, wait.
Yep, all of those are glucosinolates. So those will help you balance out your stress and reduce cancer risk, and also helps your metabolism. Very important. Oh no. There we go. Now we're going to talk about the colors, because colors are very important. And Nadia, this one's going to be a little bit of a short discussion so we can go over the midterm and really get into the study guide.
Okay.
That way, if you have any questions, I can answer them.
Okay.
So the colors, what are some red fruits and vegetables? I'm actually going to go out of this for a second and show you the big one. Nadia, can you see that okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, on the red, some of the red fruits and vegetables that you'll see on there, those help a lot with GI health, which is your
Stomach.
And
Abdominal.
so gastro is stomach,
Gastro.
intestinal is
The ladder, right?
intestine.
Yeah, intestine.
Yeah, gastrointestinal is just basically the last part of your digestion. Reds also help with heart hormone balancing, making sure you're getting everything out in your liver and your liver's being supportive. So what are some reds? What are some of the red foods that you can get?
Tomatoes.
Now for the most part, are these foods red on the inside or red on the outside? Or both?
Both.
Yeah. With the reds, they're normally going to be red on the outside. So if they're red on the outside, they're normally going to be one of the reds. The big difference with that, or the big exception to that one is watermelon and grapefruit. So reds on the outside, you're going to have more GI, heart, hormone, and liver health. Now for oranges, what's an orange fruit?
Orange.
Yeah, oranges. It's an easy one. Those, notice that all of them have the anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, and cell protection benefit. That's an obvious one because all phytonutrients do that. Orange also helps with reproductive health and skin. And where do you get, or what vitamin comes in orange?
Vitamin C.
Orange plants. We just talked about it.
Oh,
Starts with a
A.
beta. There you go. Vitamin A is also in a lot of orange fruits and vegetables.
And like oranges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oranges, carrots, cantaloupe, pumpkins, squashes are another good source of it. Turmeric is another good one. It's that really delicious root that you get in a lot of Indian food. It's fantastic. Highly recommend. Yellow. What are some yellow fruits or vegetables?
Banana.
Banana. So banana is an interesting one because banana is actually white, technically. Now it does sometimes classify under yellow, but it's less so than it being white. The big obvious one is lemon.
Yeah.
And those are going to help you more with your eyes, heart, skin, and then they help with their heart and they help with all of your arteries and veins, so making sure those are strong. Green. Green is the apples have shown up under pretty much all of these except for orange so far. So important to remember. Greens. What are greens going to do?
Skin health, hormone balance, heart health, liver health.
All kinds of
and
good
brain
stuff.
health.
Yeah, good stuff. Now your greens, what are your greens going to be?
Zucchini.
Zucchini. What was that, Nadia?
Spinach, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, spinach. Any leafy greens are going to have lots of those benefits too. Now, purple, blue, and black are all lumped into the same one. Most of the time, those are going to help with brain health, especially reducing the risk of dementia. They help with your heart and they help with your liver. So those are going to be things like, now when it says kale on here, it's talking about purple kale specifically. And when it talks about cabbage, it's talking about purple cabbage, and carrots, it's talking about purple carrot and purple cauliflower. So specified there instead. And also when it's talking about bell peppers, there aren't a whole lot of purple bell peppers flying around here. Same thing with purple potatoes. You're not going to see them that often. You're going to see them more further north, but they do exist and they're delicious. But those are going to be more the purple, blue, and black. A lot of berries fall under these. Now, white, tan, and brown, that's going to be more inside or outside of the fruit or vegetable. Inside, the white, tan, and brown. Those are going to help a lot with hormone balancing, GI, which is?
The stomach.
And?
The intestine.
Yes. Heart and liver health. So my favorite one in the white, tan, brown category is obviously jicama because it's delicious. But cocoa also counts as long as it's not being cut out by all the sugar in. So chocolate does count in your white, tan, brown category for phytonutrients. Now, I will put this up on your page so that you can see it. And then you just have a copy of this because there's a lot of good information on this page. But going back to our PowerPoint, part of this will be on your midterm, not all of it, but we will go over everything it's going to be. Now, how do you get more phytonutrients?
Eat all the plants.
Yeah, eat the plants. General rule of thumb is 9 to 13 servings a day, which sounds scary, but a serving is just half a cup. So it's like a small handful. So, of course you eat more vegetables and fruits than that a day, right? Yes. And it also counts as any plants that you eat. So it doesn't necessarily just have to be fruits and vegetables. It can be quinoa or anything on that list counts as towards your phytonutrients. Know your sources, so know what plant foods actually count, which is going to be all of them. You're going to get phytonutrients from all plants, as long as they're not super heavily processed. A lot of the phytonutrients are heat sensitive, so you have to watch and make sure they're not getting processed out. Make sure you're varying up your colors, since each of the colors has different benefits. You want to vary up your colors and choices to make sure that you're getting all the phytonutrients and all the benefits, and combine them. So some of them actually work together to make it so that some of them work better. Like, for example, turmeric actually works really well with a lot of the anti-inflammatory. So yellows work well with blues, that kind of thing. So combine the sources to make sure that you're getting all the anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, all the fun choices. And creativity. So think of, let's go back to that list and find one that you haven't tried that you can try this week. Let's see, which list we're gonna go on blue, purple, and black. Is there anything on the blue, purple, black list that you haven't tried yet? Purple carrots. So you're gonna try purple carrots this week?
If I can find them.
Nadia, what about you? What's a good one on the blue, purple, black that you haven't tried yet?
I don't know. My mom has made me try a lot of stuff.
That's good. What about, well, those are winter vegetables. So I'm going to go back up to the colorful ones. What about red? Anything on the red that you haven't tried?
I've tried.
Rhubarb tea.
Yeah, that's just red tea.
Yeah.
That's a good one to try too. Rhubarb is always a good one to try, just because it's delicious. Yeah. So I'll add this list up, and then you can try something that's on the list. So be creative, add it all together, and you can make fun substitutions like adding, where's on my list, cauliflower instead of rice, or You make all kinds of good stuff out of cauliflower. That's an easy one. That's not even a good substitution because that's just too easy. But you can stuff bell peppers and make sure that you're getting your vegetables that way. We make a lot of pizza stuffed bell peppers at home. So finding ways to get in your phytonutrients is important. All right, so let's double check. What does phyto mean? Plants.
Yes.
Where would you find carotenoids? In the, what color? Yeah, yellow, orange, red, the brighter ones. Brighter color fruits and vegetables are normally going to have carotenoids. In what fruit skin would you find resveratrol? Which means it is in?
Wine.
Yes, tell your parents. Phytonutrients are all anti and anti.
Ooh.
It's a bad disease. There are lots of them. There's all kinds of research coming out. Most of it is associated with a ribbon.
Oh, I forgot what it's called other than cancer.
Yeah, cancer. Anti-cancer.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a thing.
Anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer. Yeah, your homework for this week is just pick one phytonutrient color and find peer-reviewed research, which is normally going to be under Google Scholar, on its benefits. So just summarize it, including citations, and if you need help, let me know, because this one's going to be due next week with the rest of your homework. You guys ready to go over your midterm?
Yeah.
All right. Let me pull up. No. The one with the answers too, because obviously that's important.
You just don't know all of them in your head?
I do, but I have them all written down too. It's all fancy. And I gave them to you.
Yeah.
And it's in red. I know. All right. So we'll start with the first question. And I want you to take a second and notice something about all of these questions, because you may have seen them before. What is included in a food journal?
Sleep.
Food, drinks,
Yeah.
exercise.
Feelings and emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How we feel.
And Nadia, this study guide is up on the website too, so you'll be able to see it.
Oh, okay.
Define mindfulness.
Mindfulness is being aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
And what you're doing.
Yeah. The official fancy definition is having fantastic awareness of your environment and all of your surroundings. So yes, that is a fantastic awareness, paying fantastic attention. I might even give you a bonus point if you use the word fantastic on the test.
Okay, I'll get that in.
All right.
Fantastic awareness and
Of your surroundings.
you can keep going.
Now, what is one step from the mindful eating exercise that we did? So when we did it with water the first time, but one step from the mindful eating exercise.
Smelling it.
Yeah, smelling it.
That's really good.
What else? What was it?
Oh, what?
Did I miss something you said?
No, sorry.
Okay. So tasting, smelling, appreciating, preparing is also another one, just in general, mindful eating. Now there's an important one that you're supposed to do 30 times.
Chewing.
Chewing. Now for this one, I'm going to pull up, so the types of hunger, I'm going to pull up the example that I have because it's kind of long. All right, so for this, you can either give me what it actually means, or like I put up on the study guide, you can give me what would be in your head at that point for that type of hunger. So eye hunger would be, that looks good. Nose hunger would be, you pass by a donut shop and it smells delicious. Mouth hunger would be that you want to taste it. Something just sounds good for you to taste. Stomach hunger is that stress or stretch response. So you want your stomach to be full. It's empty, there's not enough in it, there's too much sloshing around. You need actual substance in your stomach. Cellular hunger, you need the nutrients. So if you get the stretch response from your stomach and then you still are hungry a couple minutes later, you probably didn't get the nutrients that you needed. So you're still hungry on a cellular level.
Mm-hmm.
Brain hunger is, I'm bored. Or I thought about this and it won't go away. It can go really well with eye hunger and nose hunger. So either I saw this and I can't stop thinking about it, or I smelled this and now it's just not going away. Brain hunger can combine with a lot of different stuff and a lot of the different types of hunger. Now, heart hunger. What's heart hunger?
I'm sad. I want good food. I want ice cream.
Yeah, I want ice cream. That was the one that I thought of when I was doing the study guide.
Yeah.
I'm sad and I want ice cream and I need something to fix it. That's heart hunger. Now, which one is true hunger? There are actually two that are true hunger.
Cellular.
Yeah, cellular and, yeah. So cellular, you need the nutrient, the nutrients to be satisfied. You need to make sure you're getting the nutrients that you need, whether it's the macronutrients or the micronutrients. Stomach, you need that stretch response in your stomach. Going back to the one that does not have the answers. What's a macronutrient?
A nutrient that you need more than 100 grams.
Ooh.
Grams of.
Ooh. Now, I'll make it real easy for you. What's macro mean?
Big.
What's nutrient mean?
The health it supports.
Mm-hmm. Something you need to support your health. Big. Now, what are your 3 macronutrients?
Protein, carbs, and
You say fat?
I'm pretty sure that's one.
Yeah.
fat.
Fat, protein, carbs. Now, how many calories are in 1 gram of protein?
7.
Nope. That's alcohol.
Oh wait, 9.
Nice try that. Nope.
4?
Yes.
It's like one of those 3.
Well, Murray failed. Now, how many amino acids are needed for a protein to be complete? How many of those essential amino acids do you need?
23.
Not quite. That's like almost 3 times what you need. 9. There are 9 essential ones that you need for a protein to be complete. Now, how would you get those? So most animal products will have all of them, or you can just get a variety of food. Plants also have protein. What foods have protein? This is a trick question just this morning.
Everything.
All of them. All foods have protein. Yep. Yes, that is true. All formerly living foods had protein, including plants. They need them. It's the basic building blocks. Now, what is the report that created the fat scare called? Came out 50s, 60s. They were working on it. And it came out with that report that really made everything low fat. It called for a low fat. It didn't actually say high carb, but we interpreted it to be high carb. If either of you got this one, I'd be super impressed.
I couldn't find it, so.
The McGovern report. You couldn't find it because it doesn't actually say it. So in the video, I say it, but it doesn't have it in the PowerPoint. So McGovern, McGovern, the McGovern report.
If we spell it wrong,
It's okay. So we expect Seth to get this one wrong because I don't think he watched that video. Now, if he watched this video and he tells me that he heard that, maybe we'll give him a pass. Now, what is carbohydrate deficiency called? This one's another one that I think I said, but it wasn't written down. Starts with a K.
Oh, kinesis or
Close.
club.
Kinesis is movement.
All right.
Ketosis.
Ketosis.
Ketosis. Now, is ketosis dangerous? No. For a very, 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 very tiny subset of people, potentially, but that is like diabetics who have no control over their ketones, and it can lead to ketoacidosis if you have too many. The chance of that is roughly just over 1%. So no, the answer is no. I think it's a solid 1.2% that you're really going to lead to ketoacidosis. What runs really well on ketones? This one I did not say at all, and this might be a bonus question. What part of your body runs really well on ketones? Your brain. Your brain loves it. It actually runs very well on ketones. It is arguably better on ketones than it actually runs on glucose, which is normally what your brain runs on. It runs very well on ketones. Brain actually kind of likes carbohydrate deficiency after it gets used to it. Now, what is fiber's last stage of digestion? This may also be a bonus question. You may want to put a star next to it. The toilet! Fiber's last stage of digestion is the toilet. Why?
All the way through you.
Yes, because it never gets digested. It goes all the way through you. And why is that a good thing?
Because it can take that toxic.
Yeah, it takes some of the yuckies and just takes it straight out. It's great. Now, what is a micronutrient? Nadia, what's micro mean?
Big?
Macro is big, micro is?
No.
Yeah. And the nutrient is?
I just had it.
Marie, do you remember?
Supports health.
Yeah, something that supports health. So micronutrient is just something that supports something tiny that you don't only need in small amounts to support your health. Now, what's the difference between a vitamin and a mineral?
Isn't it just like one is
One is organic, one is inorganic. Now, does that mean USDA organic like we talked about last week?
no.
Nah, it means chemically organic or inorganic. So vitamin is organic, mineral is inorganic. Now, what are the water-soluble vitamins? First, what does water-soluble mean?
They are stored in water. Like
Soluble actually means it's also the D. They're not necessarily stored, but you stick it in water, it's going to dissolve. Now, which ones are the water-soluble vitamins?
A and B. No, it's B and C.
B and C. So all the B vitamins and vitamin C. What does that mean? Are they going to get stored well in your body?
No.
No. So you need them all the time. They're not going to get stored well. Now, what are the fat-soluble vitamins? Fat-soluble just means it gets dissolved and will eventually get stored in fat.
A, D, E, K.
Yep. A, D, E, and K are the fat-soluble vitamins.
So all the rest of them.
Yep, the rest, so everything else but the B ones and C. Now, if they're stored in fat, what does that mean? Can you overdose on a fat-soluble vitamin? Yes. You can. You can get too much. Now, just to give you an example, there is a acne medicine that is almost exclusively vitamin A, is extremely high doses of vitamin A, and you can overdose on it. It can make you really sick. You normally won't overdose on fat-soluble vitamins, but because they can get stored and not cleaned out like they need to, it can happen. Are you going to overdose on water-soluble vitamins? The chance is extremely slim. You would have to inject some pretty impressive amounts of water-soluble vitamins because you're just going to pee them out. So very important. Watch your fat-soluble vitamins. And what do you need in your diet that is very important to dissolve and use those vitamins?
Water.
Or the fat-soluble, sorry. What do you need to dissolve and use the fat-soluble vitamins?
Healthy fat.
Fats, yeah. You need them. So, would you take fat-soluble vitamins when you first wake up, or would you take it with a meal?
With a meal.
With a meal, right. Now, which two vitamins are not actually by definition vitamins? No. It's fiber a vitamin. No. No, they look like vitamins. Sometimes they act like vitamins, but they are not true by definition vitamins. We just left them that way because when they were originally discovered, we called them vitamins. But by the definition that was originally come up with, they are not true vitamins. This one might be a bonus one too because it's actually really hard. So it's niacin or vitamin B3.
I knew it was one of the things.
And vitamin D. Why?
Because you get D mostly from the sun.
And you get B from? Your intestines.
What was the other one? B3D.
Niacin is another word for vitamin B3.
Oh.
So vitamin B3 and vitamin D are not true by definition vitamins because a by definition vitamin means that you get it, you have to have it in your diet. Now, vitamin K is also formed from bacteria in your intestine. Why is it a by definition vitamin? Why isn't it one of the two that is not one?
So you can get it other places.
Because you don't form enough in your intestine to live off of it. You do have to get it from your diet. Vitamin B3 and vitamin D, you do not have to get from your diet. You can get all of it elsewhere, and you can form it. So vitamin D you're going to get from the sun. Vitamin B you can actually form it by yourself. Now, how many milligrams do you need of a mineral for it to be considered a macro mineral? Or a micro mineral?
100 milligrams.
Yeah, that one's an easy one. More than 100 milligrams is a macro mineral. Less than 100 milligrams is micro mineral. Super easy. Now, how do you measure energy intake and expenditure? First, where is your energy intake going to come from? Food. So how do you measure that?
How much food?
Yeah, you're going to map it out. Now, how do you guys remember, this may be a bonus question too. I have to decide which ones I'm going to use for real bonus questions, but they're going to be the ones we go over today that aren't necessarily on your page. The old way to measure calories in food, do you guys remember what that's called? No. It's a bomb calorimeter. A bomb, B-O-M-B, calorimeter. C-A-L-O-R-I-M-E-T-E-R. Now, do you remember what that does?
Does it count all the calories?
Kind of. Do you remember how? Because it's a really cool way to measure calories that you really don't see anymore. They stick the food in a little enclosed space, surround it by water, and set that food on fire. By the time that food finishes and completely burns up, they check to see how much the temperature of that water increased. And what's a calorie?
Oh, the water.
Yeah, how much it takes to increase the water around it 1 degree Celsius. So a true calorie is 1 gram of water. What we measure with food is a kilocalorie. So it's a kilogram of water, 1 degree Celsius. So that is what a bomb calorimeter is. That's how they used to measure calories in food. Now they just use the math. So if it has, let's say it has 4 grams of protein, how many calories does it have if this food is only 4 grams of protein, no other macronutrients?
16.
Yeah, 16 calories. That's the only way they do it. They use it the same way we are. They're boring now. Now, expenditure.
So we say is no.
Yeah. Now, for expenditure, how are you going to expend energy? Exercise, just doing stuff. How do you measure that? You could either do math. You could use the activity counter. Remember how exactly I worded that on the study guide. The activity monitor or the metabolic testing. And the metabolic testing is going to be the super accurate one, because that's going to be the one where they hook you up to all the fun stuff and put you under a stress test.
That sounds scary.
It's not fun. It's terrible. So metabolic testing, math, or activity monitors.
Like a Fitbit?
Mm-hmm. Oh, what is the one food, the only food I say not to eat any of?
Trans fat.
Trans fats. That's an easy one. Y'all better get that one right. As many times as I've said it.
I only got it because I went through over all the lessons last time. I should have remembered it.
Good. See? Nadia knows.
I said it too.
I know you said it too.
I watched last week's videos yesterday.
What's one thing you can help with when you're meal planning? Now, I didn't put an answer to this because this is going to be individual to you guys. So, Nadia, what's one thing you can help with when you're meal planning?
Just picking out meals, since I'm
Yeah. Marie, what's one thing you can help with when you're meal planning?
Helping picking like one meal out of the week to like make a theme day.
Yeah, theme day. Now, what's another good one that is my favorite?
Oh, isn't it?
No whining.
Yeah.
Be flexible and no whining. There's no whining when you're meal planning. So, if you get served a meal that you may not have liked, maybe you should have helped more with meal planning. No.
Oh, no, I don't have a choice. I have to eat whatever gets put in front of me, or I eat it for breakfast the next day.
Good. That's how it should be. What's one thing you can help with when you're grocery shopping, Nadia?
Pick the food. I don't know.
Yeah. And grab it.
I know one, but I'm probably not gonna say it.
Oh, I like it. What is it?
I always ask her stuff.
Oh.
Maybe not the healthiest, too.
No. So you could not do that. Yeah. What about you, Marie?
No whining.
No whining.
And save the edges.
Yep, save to the edges of the store, help calculate out the bill. You can do all kinds of stuff to help out when you're grocery shopping. Now, what is one guideline on the front of a packaged food box? Now, I'm going to give you the whole list because you can use any of these. Low fat or fat free, low sodium, sugar free, reduced or low calorie, no added
Do you
sugar.
have to say yours?
No, I just put it for you. 0 grams of trans fats, light. No, I just put, if I asked you for it, you need to.
Okay.
Low and saturated fat, high fiber, good source of fiber, fortified with and rich with added. All of those are a guideline on the front of a packaged food box. And there are more. And you can use them.
What were they?
Why do you think that's with me?
Oh, that's
The first one is low fat or fat free. What is the first thing you should check on a food label?
If it has fat.
That's a good one. But the first thing you should check to see, I mean, even if it says 0 grams of trans fat, well, you need to check first. Or how much of the food you're getting, which would be the serving size.
I did not know that. I got that wrong.
Now, what's one thing a nutrition label can say? And that'll be different for each of you too. That'll be what was on the last discussion. So what's one thing a nutrition label can say? Ooh, what's something they can claim?
Oh, did they?
Ooh.
That they're natural.
Yeah, so it can have a health claim and for certain foods. So it can say this type of food could do this. It can talk about that food, that nutrient's function. So it can say fiber can help lower cholesterol. What's one thing it can't say? Ooh, tricky. It cannot say it will cure a condition.
But it can say it can help.
Mm-hmm. It can say it can help treat. It cannot say it can cure. What does organic mean?
That they have to follow certain rules to keep it out of pesticides.
Yep.
Antibiotics.
Lots of regulations. And on the study guide, I put all the regulations that they have on it. So there are certain standards for the storage, processing, growing, packaging, and shipping that they can't have it with. It's overseen by certain government agencies. In the US, it's the USDA. And it has to be produced in a way that preserves natural resources.
Answer all three of those?
Mm-hmm. Now, what does natural mean?
Nothing.
Nothing. Normally, it'll mean it's made without artificial ingredients or colors or flavors. Not always. It doesn't have to. It's not a regulated term. Now, what entity gave us the list of foods that is best to eat organic? Oops. I did not read my question on the study guide, so let me change that. Let me go ahead and answer that for you. The entity that gave us the list of foods that's best to eat organic was the Environmental Working Group. On the study guide answers, it says the USDA. That's wrong. It's the Environmental Working Group.
Or EWG.
Or EWG. What is one reason to eat organic?
It can help with detoxification.
Yeah, help with detoxification, help you not overload your body. Nadia, what's one reason you could eat organic?
I don't know, healthier? I don't know.
Yeah. Lower in pesticides. Normally it's fresher. I'll take any of the answers that I had on the, let's see, where is that? Ooh, I didn't even give you an answer on that one. That's good. Now, what's one reason to not eat organic?
Cost.
Yeah, the cost. That there's no regulated distance between an organic and a conventional farm. So if they're right next to each other, it may not even be super low in pesticides. All kinds of reasons. And this will be a good one for your papers too. So you can use the answer that you used in your papers. Now, what does phyto mean? We just did it.
Plant.
Good. Where would you find carotenoids? Whew.
The bright colors.
Yeah, bright colored fruits and vegetables. Oh, pumpkins, bright squashes, orange squashes, carrots, a lot of things that all have vitamin A in it. Spinach. In what fruit skin would you find resveratrol? Nadia?
I don't know.
Grapes.
Grapes.
And phytonutrients are all Inflammatory and anti-cancer.
Cancers.
So those should look really familiar because all of the things from your study guide are on the, hold on, check yourself section of every discussion. So we have already talked about all of these. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So they have all been there. You have all of the answers. You definitely have all the answers now, and the rest of the study guide with the answers will be posted at the end of this week. So make sure you finish your answers. I will send an email at the end of this week too. Let me just turn on my video. Where am I? Where are we? Okay. I will I will send out a link so that you can do the test at any point next week. So even if you can't make it on Tuesday, we're not going to have class. You have the entire week to get your homework done and do your test. So I want your homework by Friday of next week, and I want your test done by Friday as well. Sound good? Good? Good.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any questions? If you think of any, let me know, especially on your homework. Let me know if you have any questions, but you guys are all set. Sound good?
Wait, for the homework, are we supposed to email or check yourself questions or no?
They are, so the homework questions, let me take you to it real quick. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you go to the website, I went ahead and just put them all up. They're on the Facebook page and they're on the website. But if you go under the What We Do tab and under the Powerfield Kids program, there will be a link for class resources. Click on it. And I put your mom's email address in. So she'll have the link. If you don't have it, it'll come up as that you're not able to see it. But she has the link so that you're able to see all of this. So all of the homework is on here.
Okay.
This is all the stuff you need to email to me.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yes.
All right, well then you guys are all set. I will send out the test at the end of this week. Take it, and it'll automatically send it to me. No class next week, so enjoy your week. Enjoy your 4th of July, and I will see you the following week, but let me know if you have any questions. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye, Nadia.
Bye.